We all saw what happened in episode 6 when the Clock Titan faced off with the infected Camera Titan. How, out of anger, he was able to tear him apart, literally ending him. But he was able to revive him with his time abilities. But have you ever wondered what would happen if he was too drained of energy to revive him? And he tried, but it just didn't work. Well, this means that the Camera Titan would have been destroyed by the Clock Titan. And when he sees that he has screwed up, he'll retreat out of the battlefield feeling guilty. The Skibidi scientists would inspect the Camera Titan's body and realize it's too damaged to repair, so they'll just leave it right there and teleport out of the battlefield. The Clock Titan would eventually become traumatized by this experience, as even in the original story, he was quite sad for knocking him down. Meanwhile, at the clock base, instead of the message that the Clock Titan has been captured, there'll be a message confirming that the Camera Titan has been taken down by the Clock Titan. This would send a ripple wave down the Alliance, as they have lost a Titan. But the Clock Boss would still order that his remains be retrieved for a befitting burial. Yeah, the Alliance surely lost a Titan for real this time, and there's no amount of plot armor that could bring him back. Well, the Clock Titan wouldn't attend the ceremony as he'll be drenched in guilt. But just as the ceremony is going on, the Skibidis would invade. Like, they can't even give them a break to mourn their loss. Talk about a party crasher. The Alliance Titans would have to fight the Skibidis off, alongside the scientists. With the trauma coupled with the rage from losing a Titan, they wouldn't take it easy on them. Eventually, they'll be able to push them back. The Skibidis would have to retreat, as the firepower would be too much for them. However, the Clock Boss wouldn't be happy, as they are yet to hear from the Clock Titan. He's been ghosting them, not answering any of their calls, and all attempts to track him have been futile. On the Titan's side, they are not quite happy with the Clock Titan for destroying their friend and refuse to forgive him, so they are searching for him too. The scientist notices this divide between the Titans and decides to use it to his advantage. So the plan is to gather more mutants to attack all at once. Now, there's a divide. In this case, the TV Titan would have no secret mission, so he'll come in even earlier. And we all know how the TV behaves. Not quite the calm type. So the Clock Titan should watch out for that. Since they are short on Titans and the notorious scientist can gorge their eyes out at any time, they'll have to form an alliance with the Drill Race. So with this, we'll be introduced to the Drill Titan. He too would not be a big fan of the so-called Clock Titan. So basically, Clock has made even more enemies with the urge to avenge their friends. The Titans that are remaining, which are the TV, Drill and Speaker Titans, would move on to the Skibidi space. Just like the phrase for plunger in the OG series, the motto of the day would be for camera. You can see the determination to avenge their friend's death with the way they pound down mutants and toilets, beating the living hell out of them. The scientist would still fall back, as his plan is still yet to be complete. After clearing out this base, since they still have the location of other bases, they won't hesitate to raid them too, and this would start having effects on them. Eventually, they'll get upgraded, like the Speaker and Drill Titans. It has been a long time since anyone saw the Clock Titan, but it didn't mean they have forgotten. Although the Titans didn't know exactly what happened or how it was totally a mistake, the pain of losing a friend blocks all logic. They just want revenge for camera, so they are on the hunt for the scientist. But the scientist has bigger plans for them, so he teams up with Pennywise and his buddy, the Magnet Mutant, and together they'll ambush them. Meanwhile, it's just a normal raid of a Skibidi base. The Titans would be in battle, then they'll spot the scientist, and they'll be ambushed and attacked from multiple directions, which would be fatal. But with the determination to put down the scientist, the battle would rage on, with the TV Titan literally bullying the scientist. You could see that the Titans are going all out for their friend. The Drill Titan would be able to literally crush the Magnet Mutant, with the Speaker chopping off the head of the Magnet Mutant. Yeah, those boys would literally be on fire. The scientist would realize that it's now a 3v1, and it's clearly not in his favor. So, with his battered up face, he'll teleport out of the battlefield, leaving them to deal with a massive wave of kamikaze mutants raining down. Damn, how are they supposed to evade this? Unlike in the original, they didn't notice it earlier. Just before it hits them, everything starts to slow down as the mutants literally pause in the air, suspended. The Titans are quite surprised as to what could be happening. Then they see, from afar, the Clock Titan, and he's the one that has saved them. But they are not quite impressed. The TV Titan muttered, "You traitor!" They all go after him, leaving the mutants suspended. But the Clock Titan sees that they are not yet ready to forgive him, so he scrambles away. But they'll report that they saw the Clock Titan and that he saved them from the blast, but he escaped. This would be very bad for the Clock Titan, as he'll still feel the guilt and trauma of the incident. If there was clock depression, that would be the state he's in. Although the other Titans go on a wide search for the traitor Clock Titan, not to make amends, but to seek revenge. Just as the search begins, the scientist would see this as a good distraction, so he'll stage an attack on the clock base. And yeah, it won't be good, as they'll even have a bomb implanted in the clock tower. So, the Titans would be called back to call off the search and return to save the base. They'll all move back, although the TV would be quite stubborn about it. As they get to the base, the large clockman would lend them a hand with the time stop, so they'll be able to disable the bombs at the base. Successfully, they'll disable it, but they'll have to clear the base of mutants, and the SCPs are present. But, just as you've guessed, it would be light work for the Titans, as the Drill Titan literally crushes them to pieces. Now that the base has been recovered, the agents would be assigned the special mission to infiltrate the Skibidi base with the nukes and disable it before any damage is done, which they'll do swiftly. But the rest of the Titans would go on to continue their search for the Clock Titan and the scientist, but to no avail. The search still continues, but they are about to face a bigger threat, because Alpha would have formed an alliance with the Skibidis, and she would have fed a ton of information about the alliance and their internal affairs. Alpha would be happy they don't have any Titan to protect them against her, so it'll be certain that she'll go all out on the attack. The Skibidis would round up all the forces, and the plan would be to attack the drill race to avert their attention from the main plan, annihilating the clock race. Since she knows that their Clock Titan is in exile, it would be pretty easy to take down the clocks. So the drill race is being overrun, and tragically, there is collateral damage and prisoners are taken. But just as the Titans are called to respond to the attack, as they are in battle at the drill base, Alpha secretly takes over the clock base. And this time, there are not many clock agents at the base. Even when she asks for their leader, the clock boss seems not to be at the base. Alpha was a little bit riled about this, but she still considers taking the base as a win. So, the prisoners are rounded up, and the Skibidis start roaming the base to protect it from any attack. Meanwhile, at the drill base, the Titans notice something weird. The Skibidis started retreating back to the direction of the clock base. They try to reach the clock base, but to no avail. Something's not right here. So, the TV Titan orders that they go check the base out. This time, as they get to the clock base, they are met with the scientist. They quickly assess the situation. The base has been hijacked by the Skibidis, and all means to communicate with the rest of the clock agents and the boss are futile. They'll come to the conclusion that they must be among the prisoners, so they'll have to fight to rescue them, but it won't be too easy. The scientist goes after them fearlessly, but remember, they had some beef with the scientist for destroying their comrade, so this would be quite personal. They rally around him, and at this moment, he has no way to escape. So, basically, the Titans keep raining attacks on him until smoke covers the entire battlefield. You could feel the rage in the attacks, but the scientist manages to eject out of the shell and scrambles away. Alpha, seeing that it's getting heated and the boys are not here to play, would hurriedly summon the Counter-Titan to protect her territory. Well, here's where things get real for the Titans. As the battle would rage on, with the Counter-Titan having the upper hand, as we even saw what happened at the Timeline episode where the Counter fought the Drill and others. It was not too good for the Titans, so yeah, they would pretty much be beat. But just as he's about to finish them off, the Clock Titan comes in, and this time he has been upgraded. Alpha is quite shocked at this, but she thought he was exiled. Well, the future Clockman had seen this coming, and he had spoken with the Clock Boss about it and also contacted the Clock Titan. If he wanted to redeem himself, he had to step in at this moment. Well, the Counter tries his best to hold his own, but the brute strength and abilities of the Clock Titan are just too much for him to handle, so he's torn into shreds. Meanwhile, before Alpha tries to escape, she's properly taken care of. I guess his name has been cleared for saving their lives. Well, the Titans don't believe that. In their eyes, he's still a murderer. So, they all set a pose to go on a full attack against him. This would have been catastrophic, but the Clock Boss immediately calls to order, and a big screen is displayed of the battle. The Titans watch how the scientist framed him for the murder of the camera Titan. The Titans saw how he struggled to revive him after the incident, and how he didn't have enough energy to save save his friend. And yeah, it was really bad for them fighting the wrong opponent all this time. Well, they'll have a lot more to worry about as the emergency message about the G-Man apocalypse scrambles in. Yeah, they'll need to act fast before all hell breaks loose on them. So now they can fight as a team, but this time for Camera, as his legacy would live forever in their hearts. Well, they went on to fight against multiple mutants, but the G-Man apocalypse still unleashed, and things got harder for them. They even got upgraded, but still couldn't stand a chance against the fortress. But it turned out they'll still have to consider the aliens, as they are fast approaching Earth. A truce must be formed. However, check out this video to see what would happen if the Clock Titan won in episode 6. Unique Clockman out!